What? There we go. What is ghouling on, my funky fiends? It's me, your old pal, the Grand Duke of Spook, Chris Bell. Yep, make sure that this come through. Yes, all right. We have sound, we have video. Look at us go. We have coffee. So I don't know what was going on there for a hot minute, but my computer literally just would not boot up. It wouldn't load. I couldn't get it to do much of anything. So here we are. We made it. Thanks for jumping on. Thanks for joining. If you're out there and you can hear me, say hello in the comments. And we will jump into this video review, this movie review, in just a minute. We're going to let a couple more people jump in. The movie that we are reviewing tonight is one that just dropped today on basically all the video on demand platforms, called The Leech. It's a really cool spin on kind of what could happen if you were to let a stranger in your home this holiday season. I know a lot of people like to talk and preach about, letting strangers in and, do unto others, and, it could be Jesus in those discarded robes. Could be. All right. Looks like we're cooking with gas now. People jumping in. All right. So yeah, right over here, whichever direction that it's in, we have The Leech. The description of this movie was: a devout priest welcomes a struggling couple into his house. What is going on, Matt Swanson? Thanks for dropping a comment down there. So the synopsis, the description of the movie is: a devout priest welcomes a struggling couple into his house at Christmas time. However, his simple act of kindness soon becomes the ultimate test of faith once the sanctity of his home is jeopardized. I wasn't sure how I was gonna like this one at first. I wasn't sure because sometimes, you get these movies and you don't know. You never know what you're really getting into. And honestly, sometimes that's my favorite way to do it, is to not read any of the descriptions of the movie, not watch trailers of it beforehand that they send me. I just want to start watching the movie and let whatever happens happen. Thank you for sharing. So, I will start by saying I really enjoyed this movie. The Leech was actually really, really good. It took me by surprise. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did, because sometimes you see a certain scenario or a story that feels a little played out. Maybe you've seen it 100,000 times, but The Leech did a really good job at putting kind of a new spin on that old story of what if. I kind of described it as the more twisted side of if you give a mouse a cookie, and I feel that it's a pretty spot on description of it. If you haven't gotten to see it yet, if you hadn't checked out The Leech, like I said, it is available through Arrow Video and on video on demand platforms everywhere now. So I'm just gonna give this post here a little share. We'll share. Thanks everybody for giving it a share. That is giving it a share. All right. So, movie starts off following our lead, Father David, who he's a priest, and he's struggling with his congregation. He's struggling to keep his numbers up. He's preaching to like 4 people, but he's giving it his all. And one night after Mass, when he's locking up the church, he sees a guy just kind of passed out asleep in the benches, in the pews there, and they have an exchange of words. He's like, you can't sleep here, you gotta go. And the guy's like, but he's like, so the guy goes outside and starts having the most obviously loud conversation on his phone about it not working and him needing help. Like, he's just in over like, damn phone, just, it's the worst phone ever, if anybody can hear me. So really laying it on thick that he needs some help, which not only was this movie really kind of twisted and dark and gory, but it was funny too, which some pretty drastic tone shifts, but I liked it. It wasn't, it wasn't like, there's some movies that do that. They try to do the humor and the dark, and there's such intense tone shifts that you have a hard time really getting into the seriousness of the movie when there's so much comedic in it. Like sometimes it doesn't work, but it worked really well with this. So Father David says, "Sure, come on in, Terry." He's like, "Hey, how about I give you a ride? Maybe you could sit in the car for a minute, warm up while you make your phone call." Well, Terry has a hard time getting hold of his girlfriend. So Father David's like, "I tell you what, Terry, I'll take you down the road to your girlfriend's house." Terry's like, "Thanks, Father." So they go to where his girlfriend supposedly lives, and she's not there. She's locked him out of the house. How could she? So being he's just preached this big sermon to his 4 followers about being open this Christmas and opening your home to people. So he's got to practice what he preaches. So he tells this guy, "Terry, why don't you come sleep at my house tonight? It's fine. Come on down, sleep with me." So Terry shacks up with him for the night. The next night, the good father is back at mass, and he is doing a confession, and he has a confessional with this young woman who starts telling him about her dead-end husband and the fact that he can't get his life together and he's homeless. And so she's like, I just don't know what to do. And she's pregnant also, but she doesn't want to tell him yet because she's thinking about getting an abortion. And in classic priest fashion, he of course tells her, "Doesn't matter. Where's the father now? Oh, he's probably down under the bridge doing some heroin. You should go talk to the dad. Don't abort the baby. Go talk to the dad, because the two of you can give it a great life." Anywho, so Terry is back at Father David's house. Father David gets back home that night, and he's nothing too bad's happened yet. So he goes up to bed. All of a sudden, the doorbell rings. Who could this be? Oh, it's Terry's girlfriend. Which Father David starts to think, oh, is that who came into confessional today? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Either way, now this woman's in my house. And Terry starts telling her, tells Father David, "Listen, I'm sorry I told her not to ring the doorbell. Her heat went out in her house. Would you believe it? Can she maybe stay here now too?" And Father David's like, "It's fine. It's okay. It's all right. Sure, you can stay here tonight." So there we go. Now we've got two in the house, and she brought a lot of bags. And he even says that. He's like, "Well, there's a lot of bags." And Terry's like, "She's a lot of woman." Which, good answer. I feel like decent answer. Did we lose? Okay, there we go. We're back. We only dropped connectivity for a minute. Okay, so Terry and his girlfriend are now shacked up with Father David, and then Terry comes into Father David's room that night. Which I would just like to say, quick side note: if you haven't seen the movie yet, definitely go check it out. I'm not going to spoil it too hard for you. I'm just giving you a general walkthrough on it. But if you do go check this movie out, the main character that plays Father David, I'm 100% positive, is just some kind of clone that fell off of Zach Galifianakis at some point. Like, there was a mitosis that happened, and a piece of Zach Galifianakis fell off, and it formed this person who starred in this movie. His name is Graham Skipper. Graham Skipper. I'm just putting it out there, man. You look exactly like Zach Galifianakis, and you act a lot like Zach Galifianakis. So, anywho, so Father David now has Terry in his room. Terry's doing this like, "Man, I feel terrible, man. I feel awful about doing this to you." Father David, being the good guy he is, he's like, "Phew, Terry, it's fine. It's fine. Just get out of my room, please. Terry's like, cool. So, as the movie progresses, Terry and his girlfriend become more and more comfortable in Father David's home. And things start to get a little weird with Terry and his girlfriend being there. So, Father David slowly starts to lose it. As anybody would. Are you kidding me? Half the stuff these people were doing, I would have thrown them out the first night. As soon as dude's girlfriend rang my doorbell at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, wouldn't you know her heat went out? Out. Out on the street, you have exhausted the extensity of my kindness. Go away. Just so you know, that is the amount of kindness I have in me. You got one strike, and you are fucking out of here, buddy. So, as Father David progressively begins to lose it over Terry and his girlfriend being in the house, there's a few things that happen. Father David has a weird relationship with his mother, letting her go. She's died and left him the home that he currently lives in, and he keeps a giant portrait of her right in the living room under her urn, and it just kind of sits there and stares at you the whole time. So tonight, I don't want to give too much away because this movie literally just came out today on video on demand platforms everywhere. So I want to give people a chance to get out and check it out before I spoil too much of it. But it really gets crazy towards the end. Things go way out of control. Terry and his girlfriend and Father David, it gets rowdy. Okay, it really took a turn that I was not expecting for the most part. Like I said, I went into this not expecting anything. I didn't read any descriptions, didn't watch any trailers. I just went straight into the movie based off the name of it, and it exceeded my expectations, especially starting off the direction I thought it was going into, and what it ended up being was such a rewarding payoff. I absolutely recommend The Leech to everybody out there. Go check it out. It's on video on demand platforms, like I said, across everywhere right now. Arrow Videos, the people that put it out. Thank you to my friends at Arrow for always sending me these videos. Shout out to Justin. But The Leech was awesome. I really have no bad things to say about it. It felt like a feature should feel. It wasn't too long. It wasn't full of a bunch of useless filler that I feel like a lot of people pump into the cinema anymore just to make it a little longer because everything has to be 2.5 hours long, or it has to be 8 episodes of hour-long episodes, and it's gritty and dark and This was really well done. The writing in it was really good. I believe the director was named Eric Pennycoff. Eric Pennycoff, good job. Written and directed by Mr. Eric Pennycoff. This was apparently his first film, his breakout feature. So I would have never known that this was the first movie you've done. It was really good. The casting, everyone in it did a fantastic job. The creepiness of it and the tension that builds through the whole thing it's just palpable. It's good stuff. Yeah. So I really enjoyed it. I encourage everybody to go out and watch it. Absolutely. Like I said, video on demand platforms everywhere. And if you don't have Arrow Video, go over there and check it out there. They've got an awesome lineup of Christmas horror coming up for December. And Arrow's got some really cool stuff on it, like The Leech. So go subscribe, watch, do all the things. We're going to have some more live movie reviews here with moi and the spooky things around me. Thanks for watching. I always appreciate people jumping in, comment, and sharing the video. And we do have some more local movies that are coming up in our review process in the next week. Our friends over at Condog Productions sent us the screener for Parallels, which means I'm going to get to check that out now and then report back to you how it is before it ever hits the market. So I'm doing the field research for you. You know, I'm influencing you on what to watch and what to buy. Listen to my opinions and know that they are word. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for putting up with me. I appreciate you actually tuning into the live streams, and I appreciate you, sharing and sticking around and, just genuinely enjoying what I'm doing. So, for all of you out there and for all of us in here, be sure to creep those eyes peeled, my funky fiends, because there's always more coffee, more creepy, and more kooky ghouling on in the Creature Corner. A boo-bye. Oh, that's good coffee. The caption's sake, more cookie. There's always more cookies ghouling on in the Creature Corner.